Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to some GTA 5. My name is Monkey, and we will be learning today about the primary, secondary, and actually, more or less, we'll just be learning about the ecosystem of Mount Chiliad's mountain range. As you can see here, I'm just messing around with the park ranger uniform in the direct mode, and we're just going to go through some animals that live in the Mount Chiliad mountain range. So we will be going over deer, mountain lions, rabbits, boars, and I think coyotes and a hawk. I think those are all of them. I'm pretty sure at least. But we will just be talking about them and how they function in the environment here, and how realistically they would involve, like how they would live in the area. So this is more of a educational video, so if you want to just skip through it or not even continue watching it, I guess you can. But as you can see here, this is the deer in the game. I don't know what it's supposed to be like specifically, so like if it's a mule deer or a black-tailed deer, I'm just gonna call it a deer. But as you can see here, they are very they're not so much skittish animals, but they kind of keep away from humans themselves. But they do frequently venture through the park, and as you can see here, this male is running after some females, I believe, with his herd. I don't know exactly what he's doing, but he's just continuing walking with them, and then yeah, he's a primary consumer because he just eats mainly, grass and brush and shrubbery along with those. And as you can see here, they drink water in Cassidy Creek, I believe is the name of this river. But they eat shrubbery. Their main, predators would be mountain lions and packs of coyotes. But they kind of keep to themselves, and occasionally during mating season they do get somewhat aggressive and attack people. But for the most part, they are pretty not solitary, but they try to keep away from animals, or not animals, but other, just people in general. And they more or less just explore on their own and kind of stay with their own herd. And then but during mating season, the males venture out, and as you can see, this is a female now, and she's just venturing off in the wilderness, doing exactly what, I don't know. But as you can see, she's running through some upside a hill, and they not strictly, but they usually eat grass and just show that they know what to do. Not know what to do, but they usually just eat grass and try to stay away from humans in general. But one of their predators are humans, because when hunting season comes around and poachers, they just take them out like they're flies. But others would be at cougars and coyotes. But the coyotes probably eat like scraps from the cougars, and occasionally I'm sure the hawks would occasionally come in and try to eat them. But as you can see, this deer isn't very intelligent, and she's running into a semi-truck, or a dump truck, I believe, more specifically. But she's just kind of retarded, actually. She's just walking in the road, because that's really normal. But as with them living near the mountain so much, and the mountain having a highway right next to it, it causes them to become more susceptible to being hit by cars and other not man-made catastrophes, but other man problems, more or less, if that makes sense. But as you can see, eventually they probably will get, as you can see, she just got hit by a deer. As you can see, ladies and gentlemen, the next animal on our list is the mountain lion. Now, they are a secondary, or no, they would be considered a tertiary consumer, because they eat, they eat things that would eat other things that would eat, the plants. So they eat like with the coyotes, if occasionally, I'm sure this would eat a coyote if, you know, it had the opportunity to, or if it was hungry enough. But they usually stick to trying to eat deer and boars and rabbits and such as that. But they play their role in the environment by, you know, getting their energy from eating other animals. As you can see here, this deer is currently chasing, or this, not the deer, this mountain lion is currently chasing a deer, and it singled out one of them, and it looks like it has one of them, and now it would eat that, and then it would get 10% of the energy that that deer ate from eating the grass and the shrubbery that that thing ate. So, in all, like, and then, but like if that, let's say like if that was a boar, and the boar ate, like, if it was hungry enough, the boar would probably eat baby bunnies and such, and then the mountain lion would get energy from that, in which it ate 10% of its energy from other things. But with the mountain lions, they're more of a special type of animal because they don't try to hunt for humans, but occasionally, if a human gets close enough to their environment, they will end up attacking them. But you know, they really, you know, these are probably the most solitary of the animals. Maybe next to, maybe the hawk is more solitary, but they probably even each other out. But as you can see here, this deer is currently chasing down some, or this mountain lion is currently chasing down some deer, and it looks like it's found a boar somehow. But it's chasing the boar, but, you know, every time it doesn't mean you're gonna get a meal. So I'm sure eventually this mountain lion won't eat every now and then because it didn't catch its meal. And that's just the fact of life. I mean, granted, with us that we're humans, we can just go to the grocery store and get, you know, whatever we need. But back in the olden days, per se, like, if you couldn't get food, then you didn't eat. And that's the same as it is today with not just natural selection, but just with hunting in general in the wild for animals. If you can't get your meal, then you probably won't eat that day. Or in this case, because the boar is so big, probably a couple days or a week. But as you can see, the boar somehow got away, and, you know, that's it. But occasionally with mountain lions, they get a bit, or it's more so, I would say, the human's fault in some cases. But the human, you know, it stalks its prey, as you can see, and then occasionally gets too close to humans, and then, such as mountain bikers and hikers, and then they become no more. As you can see, this mountain lion is currently just mauled a human, but now we are, you know, that's just life. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are on the Red-Tailed Hawk. Now, this creature she's honestly probably one of the most beautiful things you will ever see in the Chiliad mountain range. You know, she mainly just, I don't want to say she just flies around, but, you know, she's a bird, so she obviously flies. But she would be a true secondary consumer, because she, you know, she eats things that have eaten plants. I'm sure occasionally, if she's hungry enough, she'll attempt to eat berries, but she prefers to eat things like little rabbits and mice, and maybe really, no, I wouldn't even say really small deer. Maybe if it was an eagle, but she likes to stick to fish, rabbits, you know, just small rats, maybe owls, because if they're small enough. She just wants to stick to eating things that she can handle, because with in this case, like, if she was to attack a deer or a mountain lion, you know, she would get overpowered quite easily. But with this, you know, obviously, I think you can see she's kind of scouting the river for more or less the fish and probably small rodents, trying to get drinks and stuff. But, you know, she'll eat, you know, other bird eggs, rabbits. Oh, it looks like she just took a dookie. But she'll eat rabbits, bird eggs, you know, mice, just things that, you know, she can handle. And she's more like, she mainly, excuse me, but she, she just flies around and not enjoys her day, but she does hunting for most of her day, and then she sleeps in her nest or in a tree or wherever yeah, and then she'll enjoy that. And then with human interactions, unless people are spotting her, like with bird watching, or if they go looking for her, or if somehow she flies to them, like just by looking for food, most humans won't be able to just see her. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we are on the Cottontail Rabbit, I would say. I don't know if it's specifically that, but this bunny or rabbit, to be more specific, is probably the most defenseless of the creatures in the Mount Chiliad mountain range, because it's the smallest thing here, probably next to mice. But the thing that this has on its side is agility. But with human interactions, because the humans have kind of just brute forced their way into the habitat, the rabbits have started to become more, not like, they could kind of care less about the humans, more or less. And so when they come, like, as you can see here, this rabbit is not even 3 feet away from this guy fishing and their campsite. I mean, look at, they're just having an intimate conversation through each other's souls. But they spend their time, just eating berries and grass and stuff. But the thing with these is that with the rabbits, when it comes to weather, more or less, these guys probably take the most out of it. Like, they get it hit the hardest, because I don't say their coats aren't really built for it, but they're just small, and they end up not being able to do it. I don't want to say they can't do it, but it's harder for them to kind of not readapt, but to get used to the climate. And so in cases like when it's raining and such, which I'll show you here in a little bit, they end up hiding in brush and just doing what rabbits do, I guess. But I mean, they have a very, normally they wouldn't be able to get across the river unless it was really shallow, or maybe in the winter, or in the dry season, or the winter when either the river froze up, or no, not even that, because it's no, because they're close enough to the mountains, it would freeze up eventually, or at least a little bit. But even then, these guys just kind of not sit there, but they don't, like, they don't really try to do whatever they can do. They do what they know they can do. So they don't try to do anything extracurricular, and try to fight a boar or jump on. It's not like a cartoon where you'll see the bunny like jump a mountain lion and it win. But here we'll show you some of the videos, or some video footage of the rabbits in the rain. These guys either go into their den under the hole, or in between some rocks, or in a little cave. But in this case, you can see this little bunny here is hiding under some bushes. And this bunny more or less particularly likes to stay here, just because maybe this is where he went to as a young child, or as a young little bunny or rabbit, more or less. But as you can see, they don't really go out much in the rain. But now we are onto the boars. And the boars, ladies and gentlemen, are probably the most territorial of the animals. They sometimes, most of the time actually, they are nocturnal, but and are in packs, or if that's what you want to call them. I don't actually know. But these guys are, as the rabbits were secondary consumers because they ate plants, but these guys are, these guys would be tertiary consumers, secondary consumers. No, tertiary, yeah. Because these guys eat animals that eat plants, but they also eat plants. But as you just saw, this boar is not afraid of anything, and it just mauled a family with their dog. And I think the woman and the dog were both injured. Yeah, as you can see, they are both injured back there. And this thing, I don't know if it's just mating season and it just wants to attack everything, or what. But this boar does not like people or anything to do with them. I mean, it just attacked a little group of bunnies. I mean, maybe it was trying to eat them, but I mean, it's quite vegetated. There's quite enough vegetation to feed it, so I don't see why it would even attempt to do that. Maybe it just was really territorial at the moment. But these guys are so territorial that they will just charge a car. I mean, yeah, and like that's just crazy. I mean, would you run up against a car? And here we are on our last animal, the coyote. Um, these guys, you know, they're a tertiary consumer. They eat animals that eat plants. Or no, they're secondary consumers. My bad. The rabbit was a primary consumer. Okay, that makes sense. I'm sorry, I got mixed up there. But these guys, these guys are probably the most. These guys go into the cities more often than anything, just because they can get into trash and stuff. As you can see here, this coyote waited till night apparently to go into this trash can and try to get food from the trash. But these guys also are, they're I won't say that. I think, yeah, they're omnivores. They eat berries when they need to, but most of the time they eat, now because they live so close to human population, they eat trash, but they try to eat rabbits and squirrels and mice, and occasionally if there's a pack of them, they'll try to attack a deer, and if they're really feeling risky, they'll probably try to attack a boar. But for the most part, these guys, I mean, they travel in small packs of like 3 to 4, and this one is solitary at the moment. So I mean, you aren't really going to see this thing try to take on a boar, but it'll, as you can see here, he's trying to get a bunny or a rabbit, whichever you prefer to call it. Probably a rabbit would be better, but as you can see, he's hunting the rabbit and he's attempting to get it. But just like I said, the rabbits, they don't have much, but when they need to, they can get up and go. And as you can see here, that's where this rabbit is kind of heading. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you guys learned something. My name is Antonio Salazar. If you have any more questions, you can message me down in the comments below. But I hope you guys have a good day.